Last month in my monthly classes we used the Darling Donkeys Celebration set. One of the cards I created an embossed background using metal dies, and I've had a couple of questions regarding how I managed to create the background. I'll show you here what I'm talking about. So these shapes here are actually dies and not an embossing folder, but they haven't cut through. So I'm hopping on here today to share with you just exactly what I did, and hopefully you can make more use of your own dies. Bear with me while I just get the camera on to share the process with you. I'm using the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but you can use your Big Shot if that's the machine that you have. First I'm taking deep plate number 1, which is our base plate. Then I'm taking a number 3 cutting plate. As you can see, mine is very badly scored and used well already. Next I'm adding a silicone mat. This is available on page 162 of the catalogue, and it is called a silicone craft sheet. It's got a little bit of a rubbery feel to it. Next is my piece of card, and then my chosen die or dies. I've chosen to use the Stitch Shapes dies. I'm just going to place them on kind of randomly. Okay. Then on top of that you will need the second number 3 plate, the clear plate, and you need to make sure that when you put the plate in you offset it slightly so that they don't all line up. Okay, now just wind them through. They go through very easily. I'm not holding the machine and just turning with one hand. Let's take the top plate off and have a look. As you can see, the dies have embossed the cardstock, but they haven't cut through, which is the effect we wanted to achieve. My next step was to continue with that and add some more shapes down here, and then finally when the card was complete, or that piece was complete, I added some ink around the edges of the circle shapes. So let's just recap on the layers, the sandwich that you need. You need the deep plate that goes on first. That's number 1. The next thing you need is a clear cutting plate, plate number 3, and that lines up on top. Next you will need the silicone craft sheet, your choice of cardstock, and your die or dies, whatever you choose to use. On top of this goes the second cutting plate, and they're numbered number 3 on our new machine, and I'm offsetting it so that it isn't level and running it through the machine. It runs through extremely easily with no stress or bother at all. That is barely touching the handle to get that to roll through, and that will give you the effect that you need to emboss your cardstock with a cutting die but not cut right through. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I hope that you can see now how quick and easy it was to create the background using metal dies rather than just an embossing folder. Stampin' Up themselves will be bringing out a set of impression mats, and I have the reference numbers here. The item number will be 149660, and they'll be priced at £9.25 in the UK. They're not available at the moment, so in between time you can use your silicone mat just as I showed you a few moments ago. I hope you enjoy crafting like this and that you manage to create some really interesting backgrounds and features for your cards. I'll be back again soon. Hope you've enjoyed today.